I often get asked, what do you consider when looking at your year? What do you consider when looking at a player? Is it how many games they win? How many points they score? And I've always thought about that. And what my heart tells me is that are they reaching their potential? Are they getting better? Are they enjoying themselves? Do they feel a part of the program? Those things are much more important to me than how many points someone scores or how much we win by, or things like that. It's how are we progressing as a group? How are we getting better as a team? How are we getting better individually? That's what I consider to be my job, is to help these young guys who are really dedicated become better people, better players, better teammates, and part of a team that also gets better and better. And that's a lot of what happened with us this year. We had a couple players that came back with experience, but the great majority of the team was new to varsity. And I had a list of things here that I felt we were pretty weak at starting the year. Thought our decision making was not very good. A lot of turnovers early on, especially in the summer and fall leagues. Our screening was non-existent. The ability and understanding of how to use screens wasn't there. Understanding our defense, understanding our defensive rotations, understanding how to keep your man in front, how to play the type of defense that we required. Our pace was slow and methodical and early on. All of those got better, and much better in many situations. And that's what I look at. These young men got better individually as players, and we as a team got better and better and better as the season went along. And that's what makes me happy, to see our group get better and grow, become better players individually, as I said, and a better team. We accomplished that, and I can't thank these guys enough for the time that they put in to this season. Practices were always excellent. I mean, there were one or two here and there where you say to the guys afterwards, could have had a better practice, but they were so far and few. Every single day these guys came with energy, enthusiasm, wanting to be there, wanting to get better. And that just makes it so easy for me to show up and get involved and watch these kids perform. I try not to overcoach. As a young coach, I learned that I would overcoach sometimes. There's a lot of times when you've got to let the kid figure it out himself. The players got to understand. You guide them and you tell them and you encourage them, but ultimately players figure it out themselves. And these guys did that. They pushed each other in practice. We played a lot of guys in practice, and it was always competitive, always enthusiastic, always getting better. And again, that's so nice for me as a coach to come to practice and know that I'm going to get that kind of effort, that kind of enthusiasm, that kind of commitment out of my basketball team. We had a lot of close losses. Some big time close losses. Lose at the buzzer against one of the best teams in the state and Bosco in the tournament. That could have been a heartbreaker. It was a heartbreaker. but we didn't let it affect us. You know, a kid throws in a baseline jumper with no time left, off balance, and the ball goes in the basket, and we lose to a team that was, you know, one of the best teams in the state of California. Not too long after, another day or two goes by, and we're playing another one of the best teams in the state, North Bishop, Mini from the Bay Area, and same thing, you know, with last second shot goes in and beats us. I mean, two games that were right there for us and would have been just signature wins all time for our program, not just for this year, but all time. And very, very close, and they were painful. But again, we learned from it. We didn't let it get us down. We stayed positive, kept working, kept improving. Obviously, losing to Carlsbad in the playoffs in overtime. You know, for us to run a play, execute a play, and JJ hit a 3-point shot to tie it late in the game, and get it to overtime was fantastic against a very talented basketball team in Carlsbad that was ranked number 2 in the county the entire year. I have the word gritty down, and that's how I always describe this team. They were just a gritty group of guys. I mean, they played hard. They played the right way. They played unselfishly, but they were gritty. Whenever I talked to another coach, one of the first things that he would say to me is, "You got a gritty bunch there, coach." And they knew. They watched film and saw us on film and saw how hard we played and how driven we were. The charges we took. We probably took more charges this year and gave up our bodies more this year than many teams in the past have. And that's what I'll always remember about this group. Just a tough, driven, gritty group of young men that I'll always remember. I also have some awards to give out, so I'd like to move on to that. First person I want to bring up is a young man that was first team All Palmer League, second team All CIF, multiple letter winner in basketball, a scholar athlete, JJ. Another veteran, multiple winner, scholar athlete, and unfortunately had a season-ending injury that crushed all of us, him and all of the rest of us too. Alex. Another senior who's been with us multiple years, scholar athlete, Nick. Two-year varsity player and still has another year with us. Zach?
Yeah.
Zach was voted by the coaches as second team All-Palomar League, so quite an accomplishment for a junior. Another young man who's got another year with us and had a fantastic year this year, Dylan Kep. Another young man who's been with us for a couple of years, has been on varsity for 2 years, also a scholar athlete, Warren. Young man who has already played 2 varsity seasons, is also a scholar athlete, Cody. The rest are all first-year varsity players. Young man who came this year as a junior, had a lot of practices that he got better and better at. I mentioned to the guys the other day that this young man has improved as the season has gone along. And also a scholar athlete, Cash. Another first-year varsity player. We lost him for a good portion of the season, but he stayed with us and stayed at every practice. Wanted to continue to watch us perform and try to learn while he was recovering. Sebastian. Sebastian is also a scholar athlete at Torrey Pines. Another junior, first-year player, first-year varsity player, and a scholar athlete at Torrey Pines, Marcos. Another scholar athlete. They're all scholar athletes. First year player, Sam. Another scholar athlete, again a junior, Jack. Another junior, we're back with us again next year, Mateen. I also want to mention that Mateen has also been awarded a Scholar Athlete in Torrey Pines, which is fabulous, Mateen. The young man that we had to bring up halfway through the year and had to learn on the run, and also a Scholar Athlete, Carl. One of the few freshmen that have been on the varsity in my 25 years. Xander, Scholar Athlete as well. A junior, another Scholar Athlete, Matt. And last but not least, because this name ends in Z, another Scholar Athlete who came all the way from Poland to be part of us, Max. I have a few specialty awards as well. Most improved player, and this is very meaningful to me because, as I spoke about earlier, that's what I want to see. I want to see improvement, both as a player, as a leader, as a student, and it was an easy choice for me in choosing our most improved basketball player. Cody. Our Falcon Award. Our Falcon Award goes to a young man that I believe demonstrates the spirit of what our program is all about. And I thought this young man brought it every single day. Jack Levine. Our offensive most valuable player, and this young man just got better and better and better offensively as the year went along. Had some huge numbers, especially during our league play. Zach Jackson. Two more. My Coach's Award. This goes to a young man who exemplifies what I believe is important, who carries what I believe onto the court, whether it be a game or practice. Knows what I want before I know I want it sometimes. And this was, again, an easy choice for me. Alex Cabulio.
There you go, Alex.
And finally, our most valuable player. He was most valuable in many ways. Leadership on the court, practices, scoring, defense, rebounding, whatever it took. And I'll sorely miss him. JJ Bartoloni. For, probably no one even knows this, but it's been a tradition for my 25 years at Torrey Pines for the seniors to give a senior talk, senior speech at the conclusion of the banquet. So we have 5 seniors and, or 4 seniors, excuse me, and we're going to hear in their own words what they thought of their experiences as a Torrey Pines Falcon. Who's coming first, gentlemen? Warren. Warren, I'll have you introduce the next one when you're done. Whoever you pick.
First part of my speech.
Might as well hold on to that.
Let's go.
Coming into my freshman year, I didn't know what to expect playing here.
That's good.
I knew that it was the best program in San Diego, but I didn't know exactly what I would get out of it. After my freshman year, I knew I was determined to complete my high school career as a Falcon. That first year gave me a glimpse into what I could gain from this program and the lessons I could learn on my field of basketball. In my sophomore and junior seasons, I knew I wanted to be a part of this program, no matter what, and I was willing to endure many months of not being able to play so I could be a part of this Torrey Pines varsity program. This season was so much fun, even though we didn't achieve our goals in terms of winning. I'm really proud of how we came to practice every day with lots of energy and focus, looking to get better. The chemistry on the team this year was awesome, and I'm grateful for the friendships I've made. Thank you to the amazing coaches here. for showing me the discipline and hard work it takes to have success, always creating detailed game plans, heavily scouting opposing teams, and spending extra hours watching film. After just a few weeks in my first season, it became clear to me why this program has continued to dominate San Diego basketball. There were 25 freshmen in the program my first year, and I'm proud to say that I'm one of 4 who made it all the way through. Coach Olive, the culture that you've created here is an honor to be a part of, and I'll miss every part of it, including getting yelled at to box out. Thank you to my parents for believing in me and supporting my goals on and off the court, never missing a game, driving hours to tournaments, and spending all weekend at basketball gyms. Dad, thank you for the countless hours spent rebounding for me in the cul-de-sac and giving me advice after my games. Mom, thank you always for cheering the loudest and screaming "Go Tory" when the gym is completely silent. I can think of many times when you guys supported my basketball goals, like when COVID started and you were quick to get me weights I could use at home. Or whenever there was another treatment or procedure option for my injuries, you guys would be all in without a second thought, even if it just slightly improved my chances of being able to continue playing. I'm immensely grateful for all the support throughout the years. My advice to next year's team would be to make sure to have fun every day at practice. There's going to be a lot of talent on next year's team, so I'm expecting big things. Keep it competitive every day and push each other to get better, and I know you guys will achieve your goals as a team. I'm super excited to see how you do next year. Overall, I'm extremely grateful for my time in this program. I've had some great experiences and met some awesome people and learned many valuable lessons which I'll make sure to carry into my future to help reach my goals. Thank you.
You know, what's pretty cool is most of you guys don't know what I'm going to say up until about 4 hours ago, neither did I. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Nick, and it's an honor to speak here and represent one of the most esteemed high school basketball programs in the entire city. Before I start with my speech, I just want to thank my parents who are seated right there for all the support throughout my 4 years, and I'm sure they share just as much admiration for the Torrey Pines program as me, if not more, solely for the fact that it's keeping me out of their sight and stopping me from bothering them. As for the significance of Torrey Pines basketball, I think one thing which really sums it up is one of our game day traditions. On every game day, you can find the members of the program strolling across campus in a shirt and tie. At first, as a freshman, I didn't really see the purpose in this. I still remember asking Nick Herman one day, why do we do it? And he says, just so the teachers know who plays on the basketball team. So if we mess around, we'll go talk to the coaches. But over time, the true meaning of this practice came as well on me. The purpose of us wearing ties on game day was to show our focus in pursuit of our goal. To show that in our contest, we were prepared to leave everything on the court and every ounce we had in us to pursue victory. Furthermore, it was our way of showing that we not only represented our program with Let Best Light, but the local community and our school as well, proving to me that the role of a student athlete is so much more than just a player on the court. Overall, it's a simple tradition which says more than enough about the importance of this program. For those of you who don't know, I'm an only child, and the brotherhood of having this team is the closest I'll ever be to having a sibling. So much so that I can confidently say that I've learned countless lessons from my teammates and coaches that have bettered me as a person and will help me on my future pursuits. So if you want to also spend ability to brighten up anyone's day, and with the exception of one scenario at one of our team mornings where I became pretty upset with them, I don't think there's ever been a time I've never been happy. All in all, Sebastian's taught me to spread positivity wherever I go. During my sophomore year, I was looking forward to competing again on our freshman team, which went 23-0, which Warren mentioned. However, there was a new face in the mix as Coach Moore opted to add a freshman, and that was Sam. At first, I didn't think Sam was up to the billing of what the coaches will thought he was. But over time, he made himself incredibly coachable, and by the end of the year, he finished with a fantastic season. And he was very responsible to the criticism which the coaches gave to him. And that's carried on till today, as if you ever watch our layup lines, you'll see Sam jump stopping as he goes to the hoop, just like Coach Olive tells us to. Sam taught me to always make yourself coachable and strive for growth. This team has a lot of unique characters, but I think that one which stands out from the rest is Cash. During our practices, you can catch him doing the craziest variety of things, from nasty chase down blocks to singing songs on the baseline. And don't even get me started on some of the shenanigans off the court. But after spending a lot of time with him, I've noticed that what really makes Cash is his ability to be himself and put aside what others may or may not think of him. Being paranoid of others' opinions is something which I think I've been vulnerable to quite a bit in my life. But having the chance to meet Cash has inspired me and shown me to let your true self shine through. The next lesson goes to two people since they both display this moral so incredibly well. I think all of us can agree with this statement. I don't think there's ever been a time where I've seen Matt or Marcos upset, disappointed, angry, or anything other than happy. Both of them are some of the easiest guys to talk to that I know, and have shown me to be grateful for everything that I have and always keep a smile on my face. My next story is about Max. Max just moved here from Europe, and he has quite the raw skill set. He's got some crazy shots and some crazy passes, which has drawn a lot of scolding from the coaches. And one of the primary ones are his crazy one-handed passes, which often end up intercepted. But after Coach All criticized him countless times for those passes, he made a change. Rather than straying away from them and not trying to make flashy plays which would help us lead to victory, instead of throwing them with one hand, he threw them with two hands, which helped him find a lot more accuracy and stepped up and took big moments during our games. Max has shown me that when I find myself in a difficult situation, don't alter things completely, just adapt them. For those of you who don't know, in our practices we split up our two groups into the starters and the second unit, with the starters wearing black and the second unit wearing white. During our scrimmage practices, when white faced off against black, I made quite a few shots, and I think I may have been our leading scorer. But one thing which I couldn't claim was being the leader of the group. That title belonged to Jack, who was always encouraging us, and the line of him yelling out, "Come on, White," will forever be ignited in my mind. Jack's taught me that anyone can be a leader regardless of their situation and their personal standing. The next story is a little bit different in the sense that I didn't learn it from someone, but rather from the purpose of their actions. With the exception of Xander, everyone here has or will be playing under the tutelage of Coach Moore. And I'm sure most of us know how hectic it can be with him yelling at you for the smallest of things, from catching the ball 3 inches away from the hoop, or showing up 30 seconds late to practice. As an effect of this harsh treatment, the JV team is the most quitters of any level. And I'm sure you guys can see that by how many people being called out of the Marlin Banquet right now. But the kids who quit didn't understand the purpose of this coaching. You were never going to be perfect and not have him get mad at you. He wasn't going to allow it. But over time, all his yelling and criticism makes you stronger, both mentally and skillfully, ultimately preparing you for the war, which is the war of varsity basketball. Through my time with Coach Moore, I've learned to get over the tough love and keep moving forward. Going along, as I said, all of us have had a chance to work with Coach Moore, except for one person, which is Xander. When I first saw that Xander was going to be the first freshman in nearly a decade to both start the season on varsity and play a significant role on our team, I was pretty surprised. But that was because I hadn't seen him play yet. Despite his inexperience, Xander never shielded away from having the ball in his hands, taking control of the game, and encouraging them on the court. His confidence, no matter what situation he found himself in, has taught me to never back down from even the most daunting of obstacles, and I won't be surprised if by the time it's all said and done for him, he's one of the most accomplished players in San Diego history. After one of our first summer league games, I was giving Mateen a ride home, and we were talking about our goals and outlook for the season, when Mateen told me his objective was to be on the starting lineup when the season started. At the moment, he was the 9th or 10th man, and I was thinking, this kid's crazy. But lo and behold, when opportunities came to him, he made the most of them, and before long, he was in our starting lineup. Mateen has shown me to set big goals, no matter how difficult they may seem, as anything is possible with commitment. My next lesson is from Zach. Zach may be one of the quieter guys on the team, but he is perhaps the loudest game on the team. Pulling in rebounds, getting monster blocks, and having some tough finishes around the rim. You'll see a lot of things from Zach, but he'll never be the guy boasting and bragging out his abilities, and he lets his game do the talking. Zach's taught me to let your actions speak for themselves, if they truly are the ultimatum. Continuing on, I'd like to talk about Dylan. Last year, Dylan played a significant role on our team, and everything looked ready for him to be a key player for us once again this year. But he faced an injury which led to him missing his summer season, during which Cody and Xander took over his primary position of point guard. When he came back, he found himself coming off the bench and was determined to make a change. In our first game back during our fall preseason tournament, he launched a three from almost the volleyball line, his first touch of the game, which was quite a bad shot, as it was very early in the shot clock. A miss meant he would have gone and benched and yelled at by the coaches. But the ball switched right through the net, which left the coach Gilliam yelling out, "That was a very ballsy shot." Slowly but surely, Dylan regained his spot in the lineup through taking chances like this, and ended up playing a significant role everyone expected him to. Dylan showed me that if you want to make progress, sometimes you have to take some risks. I've known most of you for about 3 or 4 years now, a few of you maybe a year or two before I started high school, but there's someone I've known here for longer than everyone else, and that's Cody. I met Cody on the playgrounds of Ocean Air Elementary School, where I was 2 grades ahead of him, but that didn't stop him from popping in on our games of football and basketball with me and my older friends. Cody would jump in our recess games despite being 2 years younger than us, and was still one of the top players in our contest and one of the first picks during our team captain drafts. Cody's confidence to compete with kids who were older and bigger than him at that time was remarkable, and I believe it's only expanded as he led our team as our starting point guard, despite only being a sophomore. His undaunted demeanor has taught me that if you want to make some great developments, you've got to amp up the ways you practice, no matter how creative you have to be. Well, there's been a lot of injuries that have taken place over my 4 years here. Thankfully, none of them to me. The most chronic and diminishing have been the ones faced by Warren. Having missed his entire sophomore year, along with parts of his junior and senior year to no fault of his own, he's had a difficult route. However, despite this, not one time did I ever hear him complain or fuss about the situation he was in. With his positive outlook, when he was finally at 100%, he had some remarkable performances for us, and I don't think anyone will be forgetting his outing off the bench against LCC this year. Warren's taught me to get over the hardships and just keep looking to the future. My sophomore year in one of our JV games, we took the 5 North to play at a horrific hell, which the locals know as Carlsbad High School. The game was a battle from the start, and we eventually emerged victorious by a narrow margin. But after the game, one of our teammates was grabbing his hand in agony, and it was Alex. We later found out he had broken his hand and would miss the rest of the season. But what shocked us more was the fact that he played the entire 4th quarter with a broken hand and finished with 25 points and put us on his back to lead us to a crunch time victory. Calling that tough may be the understatement of the century. That's just one example of his unbreakable mindset that's shown me to stay strong even when the pain is the greatest. During the preseason leading up to my junior year, we played a tournament in Las Vegas, and we were down 2 points with about 3 seconds left on the clock. With little time left, JJ called for the ball, and a double team came to meet him as everyone knew what he was trying to do. 99% of players would have passed up that shot, but he launched it over two defenders from half court, and it found nothing but the bottom, and that's to give us that victory. Later on in that season, in the playoffs, in the quarterfinals of CIF, we played against Carlsbad, and we faced our first sellout crowd ever due to COVID restrictions on attendance. Many of us were overtaken with fright, having never played in a crowd that great, but JJ once again came through with a career-high 27 points to get us to the next round. Most recently, in this year's edition of Torrey Pines versus LCC at our gym, it was a packed student section, with both schools having nearly their entire campus on site. And lo and behold, JJ led all scorers and got us the victory, which even earned him a feature on our local news channel. If you haven't noticed the pattern in these performances, it's one of the biggest moments to take place. Most people become nervous and their performance drops, but his performance improves, with his game taking a step to another level. JJ showed me to never back down from the bright lights and be your very best in the biggest moments. My final lesson is from our team's leader, Coach Hall. Coming up on the freshman and JV levels, you hear a lot about Coach Hall, and I can assure you that the legend of Farfest is one of the greatest mentors I've ever seen, not just in basketball, but in all aspects of life. What surprised me about him is with his expertise, you'd expect a dictator-style leadership, with him ordering you on what to do. But that couldn't be further from the truth. He always asked us to cater his style to our preferences and ask for our feedback. Even more, rather than trying to be the voice of the team himself, he encourages us to be leaders and encourage one another. I believe the most significant result is not just the success of our team, but how he's molded us from players into men and preparing us for our future. I've learned numerous lessons from him, which will no doubt help me going forward in my life. Coach Hall taught me that when being a leader, don't just lead to a destination, lead to creating leaders. My 4 years here have been home to endless stories and lessons, which I unfortunately don't have the time to share with all of you today. As I look around here at all the people who have made my time here so enjoyable, although it may feel like I'm saying goodbye, I know that I'll be carrying a piece of each and every one of you in the next chapter of my life, and I hope you all do too, to remind you of who you are and who you're meant to be. I'll miss you all very much, and in closing, to quote the everlasting character of Winnie the Pooh, how lucky I am to experience something which makes saying goodbye so difficult. Go Falcons. All right, I'd like to welcome Alex Pavilio next.
Right. Well, that was very nice, Nick. Thank you. You're back. When I was at 8th grade graduation, all I could think about was my first Torrey Pines basketball game. We had a USD team camp the next day, or that day, and all. Wait, hold on. All right. When I was at 8th grade graduation, all I could think about was my first Torrey Pines basketball game. We had the USD team camp later that day, and it led me to rush through my post-graduation celebration. I thanked my teachers, congratulated my friends, and took photos in a hurry. When I saw my best friends at the time, June and Dre, both to be freshman basketball players with me at the time, we were both super excited, or we were all super excited. After our time together, I told them I'll see you later, and we went home to get ready. When I got to USD, started warming up. Just your average shooting, stretching, ball handling, feeling the excitement, with the feelings of excitement, anxiousness, and a little uneasiness as I looked at the JV team that we had to play against them. I thought to myself, where's Dre? As I see Dre walk in, gym nonchalantly, I asked him, what are you doing? Are you not ready to play? He told me, I'm playing JV. JJ's on JV, Luke Ball is on JV, Dre's now on JV. What about me? I always set a high self-standard for myself and thought I deserved a spot there. After the tournament, me and my dad, we talked, both unhappy at my spot on freshman. That was when I realized my path. It wasn't going to be easy, it wasn't what I wanted, but I was going to have to trust the process and grind my way through. I had a dream driving me. I couldn't wait to play in front of a packed Cardinal Chaos in the Olive Garden. And now I can tell you that that dream was most definitely worth it. Freshman year marks the beginning of an injury-prone career. At the time of fall league, I broke my hand playing at the Bay Club. I remember thinking, why me? I don't deserve this. When the doctor confirmed it was broken, all I cared about was how fast I could get back. Luckily, I was only going to miss 2 games to start the season. I told myself, there's no point in complaining, so I just did what I could do to stay in shape. Many miles on the treadmill, lifting legs every other day, shooting around even with my left hand, with my dad catching and rebounding. I did everything I could do to get back, and I did. With Coach Dart, Warren, and Nick, we finished with an undefeated 23-0 freshman season, and it was a great welcome to the Torrey Pines basketball community. Then quarantine hit. Many hours spent in the backyard with my dad rebounding, while I ran around the grass, catching and shooting. Many highs and lows were reached when it came to basketball during this quarantine. But the dream of playing varsity basketball kept me going. When Griffin first asked me to go shoot around at the rec center, I was so excited. The past few months, I've barely seen more than 10 faces from the strict quarantine rules set by my parents. Getting to play with Griffin was refreshing and gave me a new energy when it came to working out. I made some of the best improvements of my life at this time with Griffin, and I started to get invited to the varsity practices. I was so happy. My dream was finally coming true. Then boom, a dislocated knee at Dudley's house during a practice. When I heard I had to get surgery, MPFL reconstruction, the thoughts came back to me like my first injury. Why me? Everything was going so well, and now I gotta deal with this. Luckily, I knew what recovery was like. I knew I was gonna get through it, so I got back to work as soon as possible. Lifting up my body every day, form shooting at the rec center, stationary ball handling, just doing whatever it takes. I was gonna be cleared to the start of the season, so I knew I wasn't gonna play varsity basketball. It sucked, but it was a blessing in disguise. This led me to play with Coach Moore on JV. The opportunity led me to develop myself to be ready for varsity, and it really did. Along with outside work and in-game experience, I was making improvements, especially in my offensive game, but my defensive game too. Then Carlsbad came at their place. A very close game that we luckily won. In the ending minutes, I went up for a rebound, my hand got stuck in someone's jersey, and boom, again, another broken hand. Just another setback. Just gotta keep moving forward. That's what I kept telling myself. So another cycle of running, lifting legs, shooting around with my left hand, just to be ready and stay ready to play. Junior year comes around. I had a little bit of shaky fall deep, but by the time the season started, I had a starting spot, and my dream was shortly about to come true. November hits. It's go time. My first ever varsity basketball team. It was against RBV at theirs. Along with it, my first charge. I remember it clear as day. When I took it, the hype from everybody and the energy from the bench, it hit me, and I knew I had to keep taking them. Throughout the season, I learned what it took to compete with the best, for the best, and against the best. I got to experience my dream, but that wasn't enough. Ever since I was a little kid, I watched Tory teams go to REMAC to compete for the CIF section title. Example 1, Gator. I wanted that too. It wasn't my career's main goal, but it was my next goal. I've personally always thought you have to have a goal you're working towards, or you're just working for nothing. I unfortunately didn't get to reach that goal, but I always knew that we were capable of doing it. And getting coached under Coach Olive my junior year, I learned a lot about myself, with basketball, and what it takes to compete at the top. Through so much use of my knees, I couldn't play AAU last summer. So I took it to train by myself and with the team. And this leads us into this year, my senior year. People questioned us, saying, well, we're rebuilding, we're not as good as years past. I never cared about what they said. I always knew it was a Tory tradition to always find a way to win. People didn't know us, but I knew we had the pieces, and we just had to put it together. Once the season started, I thought our performance was doing very well compared to what other people said. As a team captain, I was happy to see our team's success on the court, but just as importantly, off the court. This year was just different from last. I could always feel it. At the beginning of the year, we said we had a special group here, and we were right. We're more than just a team, we're a family. Whether we're giving Xander advice about his girlfriend, or congratulating Dylan and Mario passing their math test. We're always there for each other. Then came the La Jolla Country Day game. I think most of us know how that went. When I hit the hardwood, I knew something was off. I just hoped it was something small. Doctor called back, and it wasn't what I wanted to hear. A torn ACL, a double torn meniscus. I'd been through injuries, but this one was different. This was my last. Many have asked how I've stayed so positive through my injury. But after watching the guys play a few games, I realized that being around them and watching them just having fun playing basketball is enough to make me happy. And that's why I love this team. Maybe we didn't do as well as Tory teams in the past, but we grew together. We grew as people, we grew as teammates, we grew as brothers. And I think that's much more important than what any record would say. All right, now for the coaches. Dar, one of my first experiences with you was in middle school PE class. You saw the day we were running the mile. When you first saw me running, you made me restart. Let's just say, before you came, my average mile was about 10 minutes, and after, it was about 6 minutes, because my teacher finally found out that I could run. You know, you knew I was bullshitting, and you didn't let that slide. That stands out to me because my whole career, you've held me accountable. Freshman year, you gave me a lot of freedom on the court, but it required me to truly give everything I got on the court. This carried throughout the rest of my career. I think it helped shape the It helped shape the player that I am today. So thank you for the best introduction to the program that I could ever ask for, and thank you for teaching me to leave everything I got on the court. Gator. From watching you dunk on kids in high school to watching you coach CIF championship games, I could always tell you were here to win. You have a certain passion for the game that is very rare. Along with that passion is a level of knowledge that many don't get to see until getting coached by you. Being coached by you has shown me this and what it takes to win. I realized in that when yelling at me and getting mad, it's never personal. I know you just want to win and you just want to get the best out of me. Thank you for showing me the passion, dedication, and focus that is needed to succeed, but for also pushing me and getting the best out of me my whole entire career. Diaz. We were never very close, but you were always there. Not often, but if I ever needed anything from you, you helped me. If you saw something I needed to work on, you gave me the critique. So thank you for your support and help through the years. Griffin. Work hard, play hard. That's what comes to mind when I think of you. Many hours we spent working on concrete, asphalt, and hardwood. Those hours may have been very tiring, but I loved every second of it. You're all about having fun as long as we're working hard, and I love that about you. Our relationship extends far beyond basketball, and the amount of advice you've given me is countless. You've really helped me prepare for my future, while always prioritizing having fun, being happy, enjoying everything along the way. Wait, where's your? Oh, there you go. Okay. Your positivity is unmatched, so thank you for just being you, Griffin. Coach Moore. Many people don't see it, but Coach Moore, you really are funny. You make me laugh. You make a lot of us laugh. But we also know you can get mad. 1 second, I could be playing well, then the next I'll be sitting on the bench. What I've learned from you is the importance of staying positive. Ironic. I find it important to give a yes coach attitude to not let getting subbed out gets me mentally. I'd always have to be ready to get subbed right back in. So thank you for giving me a strong mental toughness, but also indirectly encouraging me just to stay positive, no matter what. Now, Coach Oliver. Everybody knows about how intimidating Coach O is. We've all heard that infamous walk down the bench, go get him for me. I didn't actually have to do that. My first stressful Coach O interaction was a little different. After my first knee surgery, after I first injured my knee, Coach told me to give him a call when I heard back from the doctor. Oh, how scared I was. I remember sweating when I clicked the call button and listened to the phone dial. When we talked, he hoped I didn't need surgery, but he wanted me in good health. He showed me that he truly cared for me and continued to ever since. Whether it's sending someone home from practice because they're sick, or just hanging out from the team in the team room cracking jokes with the guys, it's always clear that you really do care for us. Thank you for everything you taught me. Thank you for your endless care, and thank you for making all of this possible. So thank you, Coach. Oh, and lastly, Doc. Oh, how I could never forget about you. Sitting next to you on the sidelines was indeed a special experience. So thank you for that. But more importantly, thank you for the 3Ds. I'll be keeping those close to heart. Now the players. Dylan. The day I first saw you play, I knew I wanted to play with you. Getting to see you grow up and mature has been a pleasure. All the garage workouts, the late nights in the Olive Garden, and the workouts at the Big Lift. I could always trust you when I wanted to have fun and have a solid workout, but I could always trust you to have my back. So. And you help prove that to me time and time again. You mean a lot to me, Dylan. So just know, I'll always be there for you, man. I'm so proud of you, see where you've come, and I'm so excited to see what your future holds. So just good luck, Dylan. Your future truly is bright. Nick. You're one of the few left standing from our freshman team, and I'm glad to see you here, standing with me at the end. I'll always remember our scrimmages at Pacific Highlands Ranch Rec, because I just love balling with you, man. It was a lot of fun. I had so much fun playing with you these past 4 years, and I can tell you're going to do big things. So, good luck, and I know you have big things to come. Xander, you made sitting out a little bit more fun. Getting to talk with you was great. We had a lot of good talks as an injured pair sitting on the bleachers. Although I'm not glad you got injured, I know you're a great player, and you'll make a great recovery. I saw it the day you stepped foot in the gym that first time and didn't want to talk to me. I can't wait to watch you these next 4 years. Good luck, man. Max, I remember the first time I saw you at the rec center. You were wearing some Players Play shorts and you were whipping threes. When you told me you were from Poland, I remember thinking, how did Sterling get this kid? At the beginning of the year, we weren't very close. But when we started talking, I instantly knew I liked you. This whole year, you brought that Polish energy to our team, and I love it. So keep shooting, Max. Keep being you, man. Cody, you're like a little brother that I never had. I mean, just look at you. Look at us. Maybe one day you'll listen to me and not wear Crocs and sweatpants with your dress shirt on game day. I've only really known you these past 2 years, but looking at the improvements you've made on and off the court have made me so happy. So keep working, keep grinding, and stay hungry, Cody. I know your future is bright. Mark the cat. I've been seeing you a lot at the gym recently, and I've been loving the work you've been putting in. But I still find it funny that I used to see your dad more at scrimmages than you. I mean, that's your decision, man. Just keep working, and one day, you'll become Mark the dog. The team. That first day I saw you at Dudley's house, I saw you in your stupid headband. I thought you were so dumb. But I couldn't deny it. You could get buckets. Marty's a gym rat. He's always been shooting around or scrimmaging, putting in the work. He's been telling me he's been lifting, but let's be honest, you ain't touched a weight in your life. I've always believed you have great potential, so stay disciplined, keep grinding, and I know you'll do amazing. Jack, I got to spend a lot of time with you outside of basketball this year. Although I never could comprehend your primary school choice of the CCA Ravens, I'm glad you ended up here. We became good friends this year. I'm very happy about that. So good luck in your future, and I wish you the best of luck next season as a Torrey Pines Falcon. Matt, happiness, kindness, positivity. That's what I think about when I think of you. Matt's always got a smile on his face, and whenever I'm around you, I can tell I'm more positive. That's a great trait to have. So, good luck, and I wish you the best on your future. Dusty, sometimes I wonder how you do the things you do. I will also wonder how you're still alive after the Poway game. But anyways, the thing that stands out to me the most is your yes coach attitude. Never a complaint, talk back, or anything from you. That is a very good trait to have. Just keep listening, keep learning, and you'll have a great future. Seabass, before Xander, you were my injury buddy. We got to talk a lot together, and I got to learn a little bit about you. You talked to me a little bit about just stay on course, trust the process in all aspects of life, and I know you can reach all that you've aspired to do. Just be patient, keep working. Warren, now this is what I call the definition of a day one. You were with me on my first competitive basketball team, the Bulldogs. You were also with me in my first Torrey basketball team, freshman year. So it's clear to me that we've been playing a lot together, and we've grown a lot together. Although we weren't the closest outside of basketball, just know you'll always be a brother to me. So keep working. Good luck in your future. Cash, I also got to spend a lot more time with you outside of basketball. As we spent more time with each other throughout the year, I realized how funny you are. You always brighten up our practice, give a great energy at games. I really am glad that we became friends. So good luck on your future. Zach, you really stepped up as a leader this year, and I'm glad to have watched you grow. I'll never forget your iconic, take your time, use your legs, before every one of my free throws. Good luck next season, and good luck in your future. I hope Duke makes the correct choice. Oh yeah, and I just wanted to say, you're definitely my favorite lifeguard. JJ, when I was a Bulldog, and you were a Bearcat, you're my enemy. Freshman year, you were my motivation. I hated the fact you're on JV, and I wasn't. Sophomore year, you were my competition. I was fighting for that same spot as you, and I wanted it so badly. When junior year came around, that's when we really started to become friends. Now senior year is here, and we both got our spot as captains. And that's when I think we really grew together. Through this journey together, we went through highs and lows, wins and losses, and I can confidently say, there's no one else I would choose to have on my side on this journey. So thank you for everything, JJ. I love you, man. Tristan and Everest, can't forget about you guys. Thank you for all your help and sacrifice for the team. I know it wasn't easy to do what you guys do. So thank you guys, and we all appreciate everything that you guys have done. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents. Mom and Dad, without you, none of this is possible. You made so many sacrifices for me, whether it's waking up at 5:30 a.m. to drop me off at the gym, or just cooking me my 5th meal of the day because I won't stop eating. Maybe it's running across the gym to rebound my 10th miss in a row when you're already drenched in sweat, Dad. Never once did I hear no as an answer from either of you. Anything that needed to be done was done. Nothing I can do can ever repay what you guys have done for me. So from the bottom of my heart, all I can say is I love you and thank you for everything you've done. Now, to the young kids out there, if there's anything you should take away from my speech, it's this. Follow your dreams, work for your goals, and work hard. But never forget to have fun along the way. Don't forget to laugh, to smile, and to have fun. Enjoy the journey, from the beginning to the end, because when it's all over, it's the memories that truly matter. So thank you, Torrey Pines Basketball, for the memories, the best 4 years of my life. Thank you. Next, I would like to welcome up JJ Barloni to the podium.
It's pretty hard to believe that my time playing basketball here is over, but these events are the most challenging but rewarding times of my life. I wouldn't want to change a thing about it. I've learned so many valuable life lessons and created countless memories with some of the best people, and I'm going to leave this program with lifelong friends. Freshman year, I came into the program pretty intimidated and scared to death of Coach Olive, but one of my first experiences in the Olive Garden was playing one-on-one versus Brandon Angel, Chris Howell, and Otto. And you can imagine how that went. I came into the year with pretty unrealistic expectations about how the season would go, and I quickly learned I was not as good as I thought I was. Thankfully, I was taken under the wing of Herm and Brandon, and they did a great job of showing me the ropes of the program. I spent most of that year on JV, but I was fortunate to be pulled up for big games and the CIF playoffs. We fell short in the CIF championship that year, and although the season didn't go as expected, I think it was critical in my development as a player and person. Sophomore year was an interesting one. Whether it be the weekly nose swabs for COVID or practicing outside of Chris Dudley's house, it was always a good time filled with humor and laughs. Mostly because of Herm doing something he shouldn't be doing. I'll be forever grateful for that experience because it showed me how a true team interacts with each other, and I really tried to implement a lot of things I saw that year onto this year's team. I'm sure most of you know how that season went, but let's just say I became a pretty good cheerleader. Going into junior year, I had a pretty good idea of the role I was going to have, and I really tried to embrace it. This was the year I would have a role with significant playing time, so I was really excited to finally get after it. I started off the season pretty slow, coming off an injury and not shooting very well. But as the season went on, I really began to gain confidence in myself and in the team. We had a pretty successful season that year, and I left that experience with new friendships and some pretty valuable life lessons. Senior year. This has been the best year of basketball I've ever had. And not because of the stats or the accolades, but because of the bond I've created with these guys, on and off the court. Although this season wasn't our best in recent years, I take a lot of pride in knowing I have the opportunity to lead these guys every day. To my parents, I just want to thank you guys for supporting me all these years. Although this journey has been full of ups and downs, I wouldn't want it any other way. And these past 12 years have been incredible, and I know you guys will support me in whatever I do. Coaches. Yes, you're probably the reason I ended up at Torrey, and I will always appreciate you building me up and trying to instill confidence in me, and taking my dad's phone call so I could come play basketball at Falcons Elite. Tanner. Although I never had a chance to play directly under you, I will always appreciate you sharing your knowledge of the game with me, and you always telling me the next one was in when I was having a poor shooting game in practice. Coach Moore, you're probably one of the funniest guys I've ever met, and the reason I'm now known as Jerry. And it was a great experience being part of the best JV team in the country with you. Gator. We've become really close over these years, and it's been an absolute pleasure to be coached by you since 6th grade. I look forward to watching our relationship go from player to coach to friend, and I can't wait to see the coach you become. Coach Olive. I was extremely intimidated by you freshman and sophomore year, but these past 2 years, finally getting the opportunity to truly play under you, has really caused me to grow so much as a player and as a person. Your knowledge of the game is so vast, but you always care for your players first, and I'm beyond grateful to have experience playing for you, Coach. Griffin, it's pretty hard to put how important you've been in my life in a little section of the speech, but you've had a huge impact on my life beyond basketball. Whether it be basketball or life advice, I can always count on you to be truthful and straight up with me, and I know that our friendship is going to last forever. Doc, I'm always fascinated by the wisdom you share with our team, and some of the advice you give is priceless. Although you spit quite random facts sometimes, your presence in the locker room and the court is always felt, and you share a crucial role in this program. Players. Cody, I was a little skeptical of you last year as a freshman, but you quickly grew on me. You made so much progress as a player, and I can't wait to watch you these next couple of years. Seabass. Although we didn't really spend much time together until this year, I really value how much our friendship has grown, and I look forward to seeing where you end up. Dusty, from our days at Falcons Elite, you've grown so much as a player and as a person, and I can't wait to see you take it to another level next year. I know you're going to do great again. Cash, you never fail to make me laugh when you and Marty are together, and you have so much potential as a player. I know you're going to unlock it and make a huge impact next year, and I hope you never lose that laugh. Mark, you always have a big smile on your face, and I hope you never change that. Keep that positive, infectious attitude as a player, and I know you're going to do great things. You have all the tools to do so. The team, this year you were quickly thrown into a starting role when Alex went down, and you did great. Your humor and skills are going to take you far, and I know you're going to do a lot of damage this season and next year at Torrey. Max, although I got on you a lot about your shot selection this season, you're so much ahead of you. I can't wait to see what you do next season. Zach, it's your time now. You have all the tools to be great, and I think that you're going to thrive in a leadership role next year. Jack, I've come to appreciate how our friendship has grown over the past year. You bring an infectious energy to the court full of toughness and grit, and if you continue to bring that every day, you're going to do great things. Warren, from our days battling the Bulldogs versus Bearcats games, I've always appreciated the skill that you brought to the court. Once again, our friendship has grown so much over this past year, and I look forward to continuing it through college. Shrives, you're a great dude. That smile, you're always happy, and I can tell it always makes me happy as well. Bring that infectious attitude every day and continue to put in the work and the time, and everything else is going to fall into place. Xander, you're welcome for giving me a pretty dang good freshman experience. Although I gave you a little heckling every once in a while, I really valued your presence on and off the court this year, and you have so much potential, and I know you're going to become a great player and even better person. Carl, I was unsure of the impact you'd have at the varsity level at first, but I was quickly shown why you were pulled up. You made an instant impact on this team, and you fit right in. The sky is the limit for you on the court and on the field, and I know you're going to do great things. Dirk, we go all the way back to freshman year, which is why I was not surprised when you would outshoot me this year at practice. I'm excited to see where you end up, and I hope that we keep staying in touch over these years. Dylan, you've grown so much as a player since I've known you, but most importantly, I value the friendship we have, and I know you're just going to click next year. Alex, I know this year is not what you want or expected, but I think it has really shown everyone how mentally resilient you are. We have known each other since 7th grade, but this past year we have grown the closest, and it was an absolute pleasure to be co-captain with you this year. One thing I want to leave with the younger guys that I've learned over the years is to never quit and always see it through. We're in a time where it's so easy to transfer and quit and things don't go your way, and I was almost one of those guys. But I saw it through and I stuck with it. I never quit and I kept working and it all worked out. These have been the greatest years of my life so far, and I just want to thank everyone that was a part of that experience. Thank you.
Hey, come on up so you can just get a photograph.